The 8th of November, Rabbi Levitt, Horeb.
Okay. We're up to 608. We're going to go to Alan to continue the reading.
Okay.
Section 608.
When Israel was still united in a common land, they did not call themselves one people, for the reason that one common soil bore them all. For alone, among all the peoples of the earth, the possession of the land and the ensuing organization of the state was for Israel not an end, but a means for the better fulfillment of their Jewish duties. The Torah did not exist for the state, but the state for the Torah. And only the Torah, the idea of being joint bearers of a spiritual calling, fusing individuals into an association of human beings whose inner cohesiveness is reflected in the term Am, and whose character in the wider scale as a nation is designated by the term Goy, is to say a corporate body or a people. That's it for that paragraph. Should I go on? That's the long one.
I'm trying to figure out what it is that he's pointing out over here. Even when Klal Yisrael was united in a common land, when they were living in Eretz Yisrael, he points out that they did not call themselves an Am, a people, because based upon the fact that they all have in common that the one common place, a soil, a land that was supporting them and sustaining them. The possession of the land and the organization of the state, he's not talking about, obviously, what we have today. He's talking about what was back in the time of, I guess in the time of when Klal Yisrael originally came into Eretz Yisrael. Was not an end into itself that we have a state now in Eretz Yisrael. That wasn't the end goal of coming to Eretz Yisrael. No, it was only a means to an end. The end was the fulfillment of Torah and mitzvahs. That's the goal of Klal Yisrael, to be able to fulfill Torah and mitzvahs. So that's the whole purpose of a state, is for the Jewish people. And so only the Torah unites individuals into a united group, which we could call an Am. And then he uses this expression Goy. What does he say over here? Whose character in the wider sense as a nation is designated by the term Goy, that is to say a corporate body or a people. Maybe he'll develop that a little further. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying over here about the difference between Am and a Goy. Sounds like Am is a It's a group of people who have an inner cohesiveness in that they are all bearers of the Torah. That's their goal. That's their association of being together. Not just because they all live in the same land. Okay, let's go further. So he says that even later on, Lou, you want to continue?
And even later on, far away from her land, when Israel sees her visible bonds of nationhood broken, the dispersed Jews call themselves one nation, not in remembrance of a land once jointly possessed, not looking towards the future when Hashem, as his words through the prophets teach us, will once more have united them, but in the consciousness of being in the present, as in the past, bearers of an eternal idea, an eternal mission, of which a God-given destiny, which in Israel overshadowed and still overshadows the existence of the state, and which therefore has survived the state's downfall. We mourn over the sin which brought about that downfall. We take to heart the harshness which we have encountered in our years of wandering as the chastisement of a father imposed on us for our improvement. And we mourn the lack of observance of the Torah which that ruin has brought about. Not in order to shine as a nation among nations do we raise our prayers and hopes for a reunion in our land, but in order to find a soil for the better fulfillment of our spiritual vocation in that reunion and in the land which was promised and given and again promised for our observance of the Torah. But this very vocation obliges us, until Hashem shall call us back to the Holy Land, to live and to work as patriots wherever he has placed us, to collect all the principal material and spiritual forces and all that is noble in Israel to further the weal of the nations which have given us shelter. It obliges us further to allow our longing for the far-off land to express itself only in mourning, in wishing and hoping, and only through the honest fulfillment of all Jewish duties to await the realization of this hope. But it forbids us to strive for the reunion or the possession of the land by any but spiritual means. Sages say Hashem imposed 3 vows when he sent Israel into the wilderness. 1, that the children of Israel shall never seek to reestablish their nation by themselves. 2, they shall never be disloyal to their nations which have given them shelter. 3, that these nations shall not oppress them excessively. The fulfillment of the first 2 vows is confirmed in the pages of history. About the third, the nations concerned must judge themselves.
Oh, they have on the bottom, the editor refers you to page 145, where there's a note over here. Rev Hirsch refers here obviously to the famous Talmudic passage in Ksuvis 111, which Israel is enjoined neither to seek its deliverance from the Golos by force, nor to rebel against the nations of the world which treat it with injustice. And so those are the first two of the three oaths, vows. The third one is upon the nations. They are enjoined not to oppress the Jewish people unduly. Oh, but now he wants to say, don't get the wrong idea about what Rav Hirsch is saying. This does not mean that Rav Hirsch was in favor of a quietism which accepts injustice passively without strong protest. On the contrary, the fiery speeches which Rav Hirsch delivered against the unjust treatment of the Jews when he was a member of the Moravian parliament and his demands for equal citizenship for Jews everywhere, Rav Hirsch's many pamphlets and published circular letters addressed both to his own people and also to even to non-Jews as well. On this subject of equal citizenship and equality before the law clearly prove that he was anything but a quietist, whatever that means.
I think it means don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So that's what he said over here. I'm just reading what he said in this paragraph. Not in order to shine as a nation among nations do we raise our prayers and hopes for a reunion in our land, but in order to find a soil for the better fulfillment of our spiritual vocation in that reunion and in the land that was promised and given, and again promised for our observance of the Torah. But he says that but until Hashem calls us back to Eretz Yisrael, we're required to live and work as patriots wherever He has placed us, wherever Hashem has placed us, and to collect all the physical, material, spiritual forces that is noble in Israel to further the welfare of the nations which have given us shelter. And our longing for Eretz Yisrael is expressed only in mourning, in wishing and hoping, davening, emunah, bitochen, only through the honest fulfillment of all the mitzvahs of the Torah, and of course to await the Yeshua, the realization of this hope. But it forbids us to strive for the reunion or the possession of the land by any but spiritual means. And this is what Chazal say in the three vows. And that's the Gemara in Ksubis 111. Okay. 609.
I think
Time?
our time is up, Rabbi.
No time. Okay.
Have a good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi. Good Shabbos, Lou. Good Shabbos, Alan, if you can hear us.
Have a good Shabbos, Roy.
Thank you, you too.
Have a good Shabbos, Alan.
Oh, he's
Good
there.
Shabbos.
Right, good Shabbos.